It's that time of year, folks. We need to talk about winterizing our campers. Winterizing your camper is extremely important for the longevity of your camper, your plumbing, and overall fun. Nobody wants to have a leaking pipe or issues with plumbing when they're out on the road, even in the backyard camping with your family. Make sure that you follow these steps for an easy way to get your camper ready for winter. I've never actually done this before, so I'm walking through this with how I figured it out on my own. And I watched a few videos online, I read a few forums, and I got some great tips. If there's something in this video that I may be doing differently than you, or you may have an easier way to do it, make sure you let me know down below. The first thing we have to do is empty the water out of the system. There's a valve on these keystones. They use a valve down by the back side where the tank is located on your trailer. Some of you may have a cap. This one I was lucky enough to have a valve, and you can drain your actual tank by doing that. Once you do that, you find the lowest point on your trailer. On my particular trailer, it's close to the water heater, and I have two caps there. There's a red pipe and a blue pipe. Undo those caps, let that water drain out. That is the lowest part on your trailer, and that's where the water's gonna settle. Now, me personally, I like to come inside and open a faucet, give a little bit of air intake. Probably don't have to do that because there is a vent at the city fill. As that's draining, I like to take and open up my water heater, open up the overflow valve, the pressure relief valve, and then remove the anode. This is a perfect time to change out your anode. You probably need to do this once a year. I know we do because our water is very hard in this area of Texas and where we travel. I had to use a little bit of WD-40 to get some of that corrosion loosened up on the threads, and I had to take this vent cover off of the exhaust just to reach in there because I didn't have a socket big enough. I believe it's 1/8" or 1/16", and the biggest socket I had was a inch. After I got that off, made sure it was all drained completely, and I replaced the anode. Then I came inside and turned on the water pump. I found my water pump by turning it on and listening for where it was. Generally, it's going to be right around where your water intake is on the camper, and mine was just on the inside at the bottom of the cabinet. Took 2 Phillips head screws to get to it, and opened that up, and was ready for pumping antifreeze into my water system. In order to get most of the water out, you go ahead and just turn your water pump on and run each faucet one at a time until it's pumping air and water. Don't do it too long. You don't want to overheat your pump and cause a dry fire. Once you have most of that done, don't worry about your gray and black tanks. You should have dumped these beforehand, but everything that we're putting in your gray tanks and black tanks right now is about to be mixed with a lot of antifreeze, and it's perfectly fine. Once you've located your pump, there should be a valve in there. If not, you can buy, I believe, an adapter where you can put a T-valve in there with a 1/4 turn handle. This one already came with it from Keystone, and so you turn that valve to where it is taking water from that intake hose that's on it instead of through your tank or through city water. Find your water heater tank and turn your valves to the bypass setting. Each one's going to be a little bit different, but they all have some sort of a diagram with them to show you how to do it for winterizing. Take your hose and place it into your bottle of antifreeze and start running your pump until it's primed and pressurized. That pressure switch will turn your water pump off. Once it's off, go around to each sink, faucet, toilet, run the hot and cold water side until it runs pink. Me personally, I like to go from closest to the pump to farthest, and that makes sure that everything in that line gets done. So I started with the toilet, went to the sink, to the shower, to the outside shower, and then finished with the kitchen sink. Again, don't worry about this water, combination of water and antifreeze going into your tanks, because now that you've flushed your whole system's full of antifreeze, your water heater's empty, there's no water in your freshwater tank. Now we're gonna pour antifreeze in each drain. We gotta fill those P-traps up to keep gases out of the trailer, but also to flush the water out of the P-trap and fill it with antifreeze to keep it from freezing up, busting your pipes. You don't want any leaks, folks. As soon as you have all those done, I like to pour an extra gallon into my gray water tank. I actually have 2 gray water tanks, and so the kitchen sink goes into its own gray water tank, and then the bathroom sink and the shower go into its own gray water tank. And so I put an extra gallon into each of those. I don't think that's necessary, but I figured better safe than sorry. These jugs are like $3 to $4 a piece, and that's super cheap compared to repairing plumbing. After I've poured antifreeze down all the drains, I make sure that I wipe everything down. Now, I don't know if it'll stain. I'm pretty sure it won't stain the porcelain toilet or the stainless steel sink, but I still wipe out the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the shower pan, and the outside shower right around where I held it down to spray that one. I don't know if that's necessary, but I do that just because I want it to last longer, and I don't know if it'll cause any residual damages. Other tips to do when winterizing is your slide outs. I've got 2 slide outs in this camper. We've got one in the bedroom and we've got one in the living room. The thing I like to do is get up on the roof with a broom, sweep off the top just to make sure there's no trees, limbs, sticks, twigs, leaves, all that good stuff. Get it all clean so that when it comes in, you're not messing up any of your seals. If you're going to be storing it for winter, you really need to have it closed up and plugged in, because your batteries need to charge. You need to keep those your jacks all the way down, your stabilizers all the way down. Keep all that pressure off of your tires so that they'll last a little bit longer. Take these tips. Again, if I missed something or if I'm doing something wrong, let me know in the comments. Guys, we appreciate you here at our Homestead Life, City Slicker Chicken Co. Our chickens are nice and warm for this winter. We hope that you are too. Take these tips, use them, look around on our page, subscribe. Thanks.